Hi, good morning or good day. It's Tuesday, 7th of April 2018, like every business day. Welcome to Real-Time Daily Trading Ideas. We have 5 days a week, 5 different traders. We will speak about trading ideas, strategies, market screening, maybe 1 or 2 questions from your side directly answered in our webinar. Our goal is quick and smart, but for that daily, so let's have a nice start like every day. And like every day, we will start with the same, with a disclaimer. Forex and CFDs are leveraged products and can result in losses that exceed your deposits. If you're a starter, please start with a demo account and make yourself familiar with long trading, short trading, leverage trading, and your personal risk management. If you'd like to read the full disclaimer, just visit one of our web pages, for example, admiralmarkets.com, and you will see everything written down on our page. This is me. I'm talking from the Berlin office from Admiral Markets. We are a big international broker, so I'm the German guy. My English is made in Germany, but I'm not the main speaker. The main speaker is the day trader of today. This is our scheme. On Monday, Jay's day. On Tuesday, like today, it's Paul's day. On Wednesday, Giancarlo's day. On Thursday, it's Ninat's day. And on Friday, it's DX day, our leading day traders live. If your time allows it, just visit us every day live. If it's not allowing you, then just visit our YouTube channel and you will see usually the webinars recorded in our YouTube channel. And of course, if you like to trade Forex and CFDs, you will get many benefits with that. With us, for example, DAX 30, one of our bestseller tickets, but of just 0.8 points with the main trading hours. If you like to trade with MT4, MT5, it's your choice. If you like to trade with 500 leverage or just a 10 of leverage, it's your choice. And of course, great safeguards like our negative balance protection policy. Check all these details out on admiralmarkets.com. There you will find also something about our regulatory background and how to contact us, call us, send us an email, or like I said a couple of seconds ago, our YouTube channel. Everything is linked from admiralmarkets.com. Enough from my side. Now it's time for Paul. Hi, good morning, good day, Paul. What's your view to the markets today?
Good morning, Jens. Thank you for the introduction. Good morning, everybody. I hope you're well. Here we are on Tuesday, 17th of April already, and we've had an interesting week since I last spoke. Actually, it's just an interesting few days, and based a lot of that around geopolitical events. And not surprisingly, that feeds a little bit into our trading ideas, and I will touch upon that as we go through the day or through our session. And so, what you hear me talk constantly about a recurring theme of strength and weakness within markets, in particular FX markets, and how I wish to be sort of, for the most part, on the kind of, let's say, the longer term trends. I want to be riding the dominant trend. I want to basically be buying strength and selling weakness. And I do that myself every week. I'm just going to pull up a little quick sort of the work that I do every weekend, just to give me an idea of where I am in terms of the markets. And the reason I show you this as well, you can probably see sterling is strong. It's number one, and I'm going to talk about that now. But for most of the last sort of 8 to sort of 9 weeks, the Canadian dollar has been the whipping boy. It's been the bottom of the barrel, okay, for various reasons. But what we've actually started to see is there's been a change there, okay. And there's been a change, and and when that change happens, I'm always intrigued to see, well, how does that play out in the market? How does that look? So what I have here is, you've probably seen me do this before. I have, a profile for each of the major FX pairs. This one is the Canadian dollar, and as always, I have all of the majors set up there. So I have here across on the left, Euro Canadian dollar on the daily, pound against CAD, Aussie against the CAD, Kiwi against the CAD, CAD against Swiss franc, CAD against the yen, the dollar against the CAD, and then here at the bottom right I have things like oil and gold, because they are of course important to the Canadian dollar. And what we can see there hopefully on the daily chart is, just as I said, despite it being the sort of the whipping boy, what we've seen over the last couple of weeks is there's been a change in that sentiment. Okay, some of that can be attributed to geopolitical events that are going on. A little bit of trouble and strife in the Middle East, that always has an implication for oil prices. That has a knock-on effect for the Canadian dollar. And we've got to talk about interest rates in Canada, and so the NAFTA talks between Trudeau's Canada and Trump's America, and how that will particularly play out. So just looking at that, okay, there's definitely Canadian dollar's gone from the bottom of the pile, and over the last couple of weeks it has effectively worked its way up, okay, as there has been strength returning to that Canadian dollar. And so I look to sort of see how I can trade that. What I'm particularly intrigued in is that, we've had, as I said, pound has been strong, and we're going to look at that in more depth in a minute. But, we've also seen a little bit of Canadian dollar strength coming in. And what I kind of like to see is, points and opportunities where, markets are taking some profit and using that as, let's say, as for like a small trader, like a little short trade, okay? A little sort of trade to sort of whet the appetite, so to speak. So here we are. This is the pound against Canadian dollar. It's in the daily chart. You can see it's been in a lovely uptrend, okay? Great uptrend because we had pound strength, Canadian dollar weakness. We then had a really nice here we go, a nice really sort of a topping pattern here, a 1, 2, 3 pattern, okay, which is a pattern I particularly like. And we've run down, we fell down towards the 50 period moving average, okay? For those of you who are completely new, what I talk about is, my charts. I have the blue 20 simple moving average, the red 50, okay, and the green 200, with some horizontal levels of support and resistance, trend lines on, keeping it simple. But you can see there yourself now, we ran down a little bit of a channel there over a couple of weeks, bounced off the 50 period moving average, and then today we've kind of, over the last sort of couple of days, we've sort of just rallied back up, and we've hit this daily 20 period moving average. And what we see, and you can probably see yourself, is that the 20 period moving averages, it can be a pretty significant level of dynamic support and resistance for trends. And now I'm going to look at see how I can turn that sort of daily hitting there into a small intraday trade. Okay, and so if I go down to the 4-hourly charts, well, now I see, well, not surprisingly, that actually, we're hitting the 4-hour 200 price has stalled a little bit there. What we've also put in there, okay, is there's quite a nice sort of 4-hour key reversal candle, price pushed to new highs, but actually closed right down on its lows and beneath the lows of the previous couple of candles there. That's a kind of a bearish, it's a bearish candle for me, okay? And so I'm looking for an opportunity. Is there an opportunity for me to sort of just trade the swing, okay? I'm not looking I'm not looking to catch the start of a new big trend. This is a short swing trade, okay, that might be open for a few hours to a day, really, at maximum. That's all I'm looking for. So I'm curious there, interested there, and of course I have this wonderful, the Admiral's MetaTrader 4 Supreme Edition, the mini terminal that I have here that I can use, and I can very quickly start to just draw my fibs over there, look at particular level where I'd want to have a trade on, and and I'm kind of intrigued and kind of probably in around about that area where the 200 period moving average is. I'm looking at short there at about 80.30, 180.30, 180.35, stops above their highs at about 180.60, and targeting down towards about 79.55. So I'm going to be risking about 25 pips, 30 pips for about 70 to 80 pips. So that gives me that sort of around about 2.83 R sort of reward to risk on the trade. And I can set that up pretty quickly, pretty easily, just using the mini terminal. Okay, just having my targets, just drawing in my targets down there, okay, and that target is that trade's pretty much set on. And for those of you who sort of trade shorter time frames, you could actually go down here. If I look here on the sort of short, that's the hourly chart. You can see that that's a very, very strong pattern we've had there. The 30 minutes, okay, has rolled over there as well, okay, and even the 15 minutes, okay. So, we had, you can see there's a lot of wicks there, okay, and price has fallen down. And what I'd like to maybe see is pull up a little bit and then roll over and fall down to where that sort of target is. As I said, it's not the big trade. We'll come to that, but this is kind of just a sort of a small swing trade, okay, as we look to see people taking some of their profits off the sterling strength that we've seen, which kind of leads me on to sterling. So why don't I switch across to my British pound, okay, profile. Let's switch on. Sterling is still strong, okay, and has been, okay, for a considerable time now. And invariably, you can see once again, here we have a look at it, is we have got the daily charts here, okay. Euro against sterling has been going down, 86.38. We're trading it now. You've heard me banging on for months about that sort of 87.50 range. We've broken, got beneath it. Pound against yen has been a upwards trend. Pound against Swiss franc has been a lovely trend there. If you just quickly look at that, you can see there realistically, from the start of March, that has just been one-way traffic as we've seen sterling strength, and the Swiss franc has just kind of has kind of fallen away against pretty much most of the majors. An indication that perhaps after the After the thrilling markets at the start of February, we've had a little bit of a risk on back, an appetite has returned. But we can see pound against Aussie, okay, it's been trending, but it's been going a little bit sideways. Pound against New Zealand dollar is up, okay. Pound against CAD, well, we've just talked about that. But what I'm kind of interested in is, let's have a look at the pound against the dollar, right? So let's have a look. This is the pound against dollar on the monthly chart, and you can see that here we have, okay, if I bring up my cursor, here we have, this was the sort of the Brexit moment, okay, a couple of nearly 2 years or so ago, where we had a complete change in the sort of pound sentiment, and we fell down, and we were racing down towards beneath the kind of 120 and below level. But what we've seen is a climb up there, okay, a return to these levels, and we're back up towards that kind of zone there. And and if I go down to sort of the weekly chart, you can see pound against dollar has been a really nice strong trend there, okay, nice strong trend, and we're kind of clearing the weekly 200. But what I'm looking at is, this is the daily chart, okay. We pushed up to these highs around about 143.30, 143.40. We came back, it gave us a nice counter trend line to trade on the break of that, and we're back up at that level now. And when I look at it, okay, I go down to the 4-hourly chart. Well, once again, what I've seen there this morning, we had a little bit of UK news this morning, is we've had a lovely trend there, okay, even just a sort of a mini trend for the last week. Not surprising me that some people may be wanting to take a little bit of profit, okay, from that particular trade. If I look at that, a bit like the pound against the CAD trade, on the 4-hour chart, I can see that there is a nice sort of pin bar key reversal. That provides me with a nice trading opportunity. And if I go down to the 1-hour chart, well, it just makes it even clearer as well. This pattern here, ladies and gentlemen, is what's very often known as an evening star formation. Okay, we've had a kind of a final up thrust. Sometimes this is a pin bar. Sometimes it can be a doji candle, a candle of indecision, followed by a strong sell-off, and that gives us an evening star. And so we're expecting prices to sort of drop a little further. So as always, I can just sort of draw on. I like to sort of trade and see if there is a possible pullback in there. And so what I'll be looking at is how can I get trade on that gives me good reward to risk. That's what I'm always looking at when you've heard me sort of talk about it. So I look at that, okay, I'm sort of wanting to be short probably around about the sort of 43.50 area. My stop will be above the top, so we're looking there really about 43.80. So I'm risking about 25 to 30 pips of trade risk, and then I'm going to be looking down towards these kind of lows here around about the sort of 142.50, just maybe a little bit in front of that there. So what I'm looking at is I'm risking 30 for around about 100 pips of profit. That's a good healthy reward to risk, and I'm always happy to take trades like that which give me a good reward to risk opportunity. So there we go. There's another trade where we're just, shorting sterling to take a little bit of a profit, just sort of joining the profit taking post news and post a good run. Before I just finish off for a few questions, I said, there's always like a big trade. Well, what we've seen, is here we are looking at the FTSE, okay, the FTSE, the UK index. As always, just simple chart setup, okay, 20 period moving average, red 50 period, and green 200. But what I'm looking at here is, I see this as there's a possibility for an inverse head and shoulders pattern starting to form. So for those of you who are, as I say, completely new, what I'll be just looking at this here, okay, is that, I want the, here we go, that's the sort of the left shoulder there. If I just pull across here, okay, we can have, just so you have an idea, you can have this would be the head of it, all right. Just amend that so you can make it a little bit clearer for you to be able to see. And then what I'm waiting to see is, well, are we going to see a sort of a right shoulder start to form over here in this particular area? That's what I'm kind of starting to get intrigued by. The good thing is about this, because it's on a daily chart, this is something we can watch and wait. We saw we had a bit of an interesting day yesterday after the Syrian strikes at the weekend, and what I'm looking at is, could we actually see price sort of roll down round towards this zone, okay? So I'll be looking for sort of reversal patterns in that region of around about 70.50 to 7100, and if there were, well then I'd be looking to get long there with the stops beneath the all-time lows there around about 68.30, and then effectively looking for a good strong price move to the north. So, hopefully you can see that. As I said, that's, I try to give like small trades and big trades, something that you can, I appreciate not everybody can trade intraday all day. Some of us have to trade around a day job, and hopefully maybe a little idea like this will give you something to be able to sort of keep your eye on and watch sort of develop over the next coming few days and weeks. So we've got a few minutes left, Jens. So, if there are any particular questions of interest, I'll happily see if I can answer them and help the viewers this morning.
Yeah, we looked to a few markets today already. The markets of interest today is Euro dollar from our participants, and also GBP US dollar, the cable. So maybe a closer look to both markets again.
Okay, so we've just had a good look at cable. As I said, I think it's strong on a longer trend, but we've hit levels, and I think we'll sort of we'll roll off there for a bit. There'll be a little bit of profit taking there. Okay, so we're looking at euro dollar. Well, let's have a look at it. It's kind of an interesting one. You hear me talk about on these sessions, the kind of relationship between the euro dollar and also between the dollar index. Okay, we've been kind of a little bit of a how would you describe it? Maybe a little bit of sort of going sideways. Okay, dollar index. All right. If I look at that on the weekly, we looked at having a bit of a had a little bit of a base forming. Okay, it's a little bit of still see it as a little bit of a triangle forming there on the weekly chart, and we're trying to get a decision on what it's going to do. I look at that because, well, then that has an implication on what we look at with the euro dollar. Euro dollar, here we go. We've talked about that kind of 125 level, or I talked about, we had, topping formations, but actually what we've seen here is, where we're kind of, it's like we're squeezing together, okay? We're getting, getting closer and closer, a bit like a reverse of that dollar index, a little bit of a squeezing towards it actually, sort of making a move. At the moment, it looks like it's sort of kind of filtering its way, drifting its way up to sort of that sort of trend line of the wedge, the triangle pattern. Let's have a little look down there, okay? Let's maybe go down into a little bit of thing. We were back short roundabout back here, okay, and we were talking about areas of where it would falter, and that's what it did, and it's come back in. I see it still in this particular wedge. I would be intrigued to see it, get up to that kind of up to that particular level. Let's see if it can do that. That would take us around about 124.20, 124.40, okay, into that region there. Then I'd want to see how price reacts. Okay, if price gets above it, closes, maybe uses the trend line as some dynamic support, well, then you're looking at perhaps an assault at that 125 and beyond level. Okay, alternatively, we might get up there and reverse over and fall away. Okay, it's we are in a little bit of, as I said, we're in a little bit of limbo at the moment. There's clearly a sort of a period of positioning going on by the big major institutions, and we just wait to see how that plays out for us. So I hope that answers those questions, Jens. Was there another currency pair that was of interest?
Euro dollar, but one question about GBP US dollar more from one participant. What do you think about longer term for GBP US dollar? Long term outlook.
Longer term for GBP. Let's see if I've got a chart, okay, on here, right? Longer term GBP, okay. So, here we go. Let's have a look at this monthly chart. I think that, I suspect that it's almost like a psychological, almost like a kind of a psychological level, okay, here, that if I just zoom around here, Kate, that, the sort of the price that we saw, kind of the UK being trading at before Brexit, okay, the Brexit event happened there, okay, so we were around up here, just before it, we were looking around about in that kind of 144 to 148, 150 region. It doesn't surprise me that price has drifted its way back up to there, okay. I think price has drifted its back up. Where that weekly 200, I'd want to see it, can it on a longer term basis, can it actually hold above there? If it's going to hold above there, well then, as I said, it's going to drift towards 150. I think that's what I'll be looking at on the longer term basis. But as I said, it might be up here because there's a lot of orders, which case it could sort of get up and and stooge about for a bit. But I see it drifting north from kind of 143 towards that 150 region, just because it's it's a kind of a psychological zone that people will remember from the previous trading just before the Brexit announcement. Hope that helps, Jens.
Yeah, and like I said, our goal is quick and smart, but for that daily. So tomorrow is another day. Tomorrow, our day trader is Giancarlo. Hope to see you tomorrow again. Thanks, Paul. All have good trades. And yeah, see you tomorrow. And if you'd like to see this webinar again, just a couple of hours later in our YouTube channel. Greetings from Berlin office. Bye bye.